Hello, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me here tonight. We are continuing on the Aurifil block of the month. This is September's block of the month. It is Limone. It is a cute lemon. There we got sort of the applique pattern there. We are doing it all with applique, and we're doing it in that way where you sew a scrap fabric to the front, and then we're going to turn it right side out. So we've done one last night, and we're going to do the rest today. So we'll walk you through that process again. So thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So again, working on that Aurifil block of the month. I'm excited. All right, I'm going to flip you around. Let's get going here, guys. All right, hello, everyone. Nice seeing you all pop in here. So yesterday, we got this far on one of our pieces, and how we're doing it is we are sewing a shape to our front fabric, which is this pretty yellow, and then we are cutting a hole in the back and turning it right side out. So you can see here are some of the shapes. We have our shape. We sewed directly on that shape, and we got that shape from our applique piece here. And then we sewed it with the wrong sides together, and now we're going to cut into it and turn it right side out. We do have to do some trimming. So we actually finished that with all of our pieces. I'm using my little hemostats here to help me grip and turn things right side out. Just like what a surgeon would use, I suppose. All right, let's start with something that I think might be one of the easy ones. So I have this guy here. We can cut straight around this guy. So I am cutting a little less than a 1/4 inch. I'm doing that to start out with. And then around the curves, like this curve right here, we'll be cutting notches out of it. And how we're going to be cutting those notches is with my pinking shears, which is right here. But I'm also going to just trim away excess around the tip. So all we're trying to do here in general is get so not like the least amount of bulk has to fit in these small spaces. So there is how I trimmed the tip a little bit. And now these curves I want to cut into as well. We're going to just move this up because we're going to have a pile of our little scraps going on here. All right, so this is the pinking shears that has those like zigzaggy teeth on it. And I'm going to just use that to help reduce some of the bulk around that curve. So there we go. Just chopped up like that. So now if you don't have a pinking shears, you can just take your scissors. And I'm taking my huge scissors here. I could, get a smaller scissors. But you just want to cut out little notches because all of this is going to be turned inside out. So all of this bulk, all this outside bulk has to fit into this tiny little space. And by cutting some of it out, we're making more space for it to be. So there's the side that I just cut by hand. I just think the pinking shears is so slick. You can cut it all out. All right. So now I'm going to cut a slit in the back piece, but I don't want to cut at all from the front. So I'm going to just kind of pull it out like so. And I'm actually just going to get a tiny little bit there, right in the middle there. And you could actually use a smaller scissors. So now I'm going to go in and I'm just going to cut a little bit bigger of a hole here. So this is what we're going to turn the whole thing right side out. And you're going to get like this nice shape, and then this is what we're going to actually stitch down. So it's almost like we're doing needle turn applique, but we're forcing the turn beforehand by sewing it to another piece. So it's kind of like cheating for needle turn applique. but I like that look of that raised look that needle turn applique gets. So it's going to be fun, I think. So I'm just going to use my hemostats to like go in here, grab a corner, and pull that through the hole. Kind of a fun way of doing it. And these are also pointy enough that I can kind of shush out the edges a little bit. Let's try and get this point. That's going to be the tricky one. There, just grabbing it, pulling it through the hole, and then we'll work on this a little bit. Oh, Christy, thanks for sharing. So Christy said that today I discovered that irons melt the sulky stick and stitch. Yes, you do not want to use an iron on the stick and stitch. Make sure you take it off before then. So I'd love to hear if you cleaned up your iron, what method you used for that, because I think I needed to do a little bit of that too. Ooh, this is cute. Yeah, and let me know how the fabric did too. I bet you can put like a paper towel down and maybe try and pick up some of that stick and stitch. Yeah, let us know how that turns out. I should do a test of that sometime. Oh, Tracy says on YouTube that this fabric is perfect for the lemon. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I was thinking yesterday of doing like different colors for each, but I'm kind of liking it all one. So, all right, we got that tip out pretty well. This is a pretty dang cute shape, I would say. We can kind of push out these sides a little bit more. You can almost just like finger press them as you're pushing them out, and that'll be helpful when we pin them down, because they kind of want to go bloopy, like they want to go back to where they were, like right side out. But if we just do some finger pressing, I think that's going to help form them. And we can pick out those edges a little bit as we stitch. But there we go. We got 2 pieces. Let's keep going. Let's do the other 3 of these. We'll just crank through those. Then we'll work on maybe some more of these difficult ones. And I think, honestly, this is probably what we'll get done today is turning all these right side out. It's all part of the process here. I think I'll trim all 4 of these at once, and then I'll flip them all right side out. So again, let's shave off that tip a little bit. All right, and the pinking shears around the corners. Let's see if we can go through prepping these quickly here. All right, he's done. And then I'll cut the hole in the back of all of them and do all that all at once too. Actually, why don't we do this? I'm kind of having fun just trimming all these now. Why don't I do this for all of the shapes right away? And then we'll turn them all right side out and just work on one step at a time for all of them. I think that's feeling good. Get these corners. So Noeline says, oh bugger, I iron on a piece of foil or salt works too. I think we did I know we did this before, and I think we might have used that foil technique too. Or I don't know, maybe I just tried to wash it off when it was cool. I can't quite remember. I'm gonna have to dig into that again though, because first of all, my iron could probably use a little bit of a cleaning too. But yeah, that's something that's good to know when you need it. Because you never do that on purpose. That's always a bummer of an accident to get stuff all over your iron. Okay, Tracy says that she uses the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser on that. I know I've heard that before, that people like that as well. Oh, interesting. Christy says, yeah, it didn't stick to the iron. Thankfully, it just like shrinky dinked. I definitely know what shrinky dinks are. I actually have a shrinky dink, like original shrinky dink oven in my basement here. Should bring that out sometime. I wonder if it works actually. Um, Actually, it might not be an original. It might be a remake of it, but a remake from like the early 2000s or late 90s. So still kind of vintage. Oh man. Which is just so silly because you can use a normal oven to do shrinky dinks. But just kind of fun. I love shrinky dinks. All right, so now this one has an inside curve, and on inside curves, we're gonna actually just do snips into there because we have the opposite problem here. Is we need to stretch this curve shape to be inside out and fit all stretched out like this. Like it needs to expand, and it's not gonna do that without cutting the little slits into them. Whereas the outside curves, we need to reduce all the bulk from the seam allowance, and that's why we're cutting the chunks out of it. So different purposes. Alright, so that's just a silly, weird shape. So we've clipped that corner, so that's a little bit smaller. We've separated the inside curve, just that slight inside curve. We've kind of pulled, we've slit the seam allowance there to allow for it to stretch in the opposite direction, and we've reduced bulk around the outside curve by cutting out the chunks there. Oh, I thought we had another one. There it is. Yeah, this is kind of fun getting this all done at once. Then I can just shush this pile of scraps off to the side. Alright, a couple little cuts into that seam allowance by that inside curve. Oh, shrinky dinks. Nolene is asking, what are shrinky dinks? So though it was big in the 80s and people are still doing it, but it's plastic. Like a plastic sheet that you color on. Maybe it's called something else in Australia. I'm sure once I describe it you'll know what I'm talking about. But you draw like a picture on, like with colored pencils or something. So if I draw it this big, like let's say I drew a hippo and it is this big, and you color it all in, then you put it in the oven or the shrinky dink oven, which is the same thing, just like for kids, and it'll shrink up to like, a fifth of the size and get like thicker. So you're just basically heating up plastic that you've colored with markers or colored pencil, and then it looks all good too when it shrinks up because all your like mistakes go away. It's kind of fun. All right, so now this we got a very large outside curve and a very large inside curve. So this one's going to be extra funny. So this outside curve, we are going to do the pinking shears, but this inside curve, I think we're going to snip all of it. So one side will be snipped, the other side will be pinked, and then we still got our corners that we'll do too. So let's just get rid of some of the bulk. This one I'm a little nervous about turning it right side out. Hopefully we don't have to redo it. My fear is like this is just going to straight not work, turning something this small right side out, and we'll just have to come up with a different solution, or I'll have to redo it and make it bigger. But maybe it'll actually work. We will see. I'm going to try and get the seam allowance a little smaller on this side. scissors first. Yeah, let's just trim that a little. All right, other side. Just reducing bulk, but still have a seam allowance. All right, now I'm just going to go around this inside curve, and we're just going to add a bunch of slits in here. So I'm not going all the way to the stitch line, but I'm going pretty close, so I got to be careful, which makes me think maybe I should use a slightly smaller scissors. That could be an idea. So just going around this whole edge, and then the other edge is where I'm going to use the pinking shear. So it's the inside and the outside curves, the convex and concave curves. Oh man, you guys, the ice cream truck went by today when John and I went for a walk. Haven't seen that in years. I've seen it maybe 1 year here before, but that's it. So that was just kind of silly. And these poor kids, like these parents, and then like, you know, this kid in diapers and these two like younger kids are trying to go. They heard it and it went too fast and went down the block, and they were trying to find it. I don't know if they ever found it. But they had to go like walk around quick and look for the ice cream truck. All right, plenty good. Here we go. So this side is where I'm reducing bulk, so I'm cutting with the pinking shears. Hopefully this works. I'm cutting pretty close, so really kind of reducing the amount of seam allowance. So hopefully that doesn't come to bite me. All right, there we are. So all of our pieces are cut out here. Let's shimmy all this stuff out of the way. Don't need that. Okay. Whew, let's see if we can do this now. Let's start, well, let's just go from the top to bottom. So here's a little itty bitty one. So I'm gonna pull the front and the back apart as much as I can. Let's just try and, so this scissors does a really good job at snipping just really little spaces, so I'm gonna still use my big scissors. And then now, this is a little duller scissors as far as the tip goes, so I'm not gonna like pierce through the other side. All right, there's one. Let's give it a go. This one is our smallest little teardrop. So this might be hopefully the hardest of the teardrop shapes. Get the hardest one done right away. It's gonna be so little. It's so little. I think I'm actually gonna get my scissors in here. The scissors. Oh, I didn't. Oh man, it all came out. Let's try that again. All your scissors and pins layers look like a sugar tray. Scissors and pin layers. Oh, these guys. Why didn't I just order the Steam-a-Seam? Well, I wouldn't have had it in time, for one. But I could have. I just thought, let's just try it. since I don't have any, let's just play around with it this way and see how it goes. And you know what? I sometimes just like the look of the raised look, like the needle turn applique. I kind of just like that a little bit better than the steam-a-seam. So the steam-a-seam, that's that stabilizer or interfacing, fusible interfacing that you can use to just stick these layers down. So I wouldn't have done the back. I would have just cut the shape without the seam allowance. Just cut the shape with the steam-a-seam, and then which has glue on it, and then I would just fused it down and it'd basically be done. But then you have like a really flat look because it's fused right to the fabric. This is gonna give it like a nice lifted off of the background look, and it's just gonna look really traditional and cute. So I think it'll give a little extra bit to it, and I haven't done any of that hand stitching with these in a while, so I thought it'd be kind of fun. So started because I didn't have any more of the steam-a-seam. All right, I think that looks decent enough. This one goes. Oh, you know what? I think we might have still ended up backwards here. Okay, I was kind of wondering if that would happen. So in my head, I had to go backwards and then flip it right side out. But look, I'm still backwards. So our lemon is going to be going in the other direction, or at least the squirt parts are going to be going in the opposite direction. So, whoops. Made a mistake there. Yeah, because the second one's going to go here. Yeah, we're going to be just flipped in the other direction. Maybe I'll just leave it. We'll see. I knew there was something weird with that, but I couldn't remember, and I couldn't wrap my brain around it. So we're going to just end up flipped. Oh, well. Oh, is this... Well, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the reverse design. So I should have traced it like this, and then it would have ended up like this, but I was tracing it like this, and now it's still ending up backwards, so... Oh, maybe because I was tracing the backs. I don't know. I flipped it one too many times, or not one time enough, so we're backwards. Oh well. There you go. Charlotte says, no mistake, just a design decision. If only that was the case, but it's gonna be I'm okay with it design situation. How about that? Yeah, that's the other thing with the steam-a-seam, with the fusible way of doing this applique. It has like a decorative stitching the outside down, which is nice. And I just don't have any decorative stitches. I just have the straight stitch, so I wouldn't have that cute blanket stitch that the sewing machines have now and stuff. So I don't know. Sticking with this way, and I haven't done this method in a while either. We've done the normal, like the real needle turn applique. I think on the Splendid Sampler we kind of did that relatively recently, but haven't done this way of doing it, which is kind of fun. Same effect. Yeah, exactly. Kathy says, Bob Ross, happy little accidents. It's more of a happy little accident than a design decision. Definitely did not go out with this decision to do this. Alright. I think that's good enough. I mean, my points aren't going to be super perfect, but this whole thing is going to be like a little bubbly, which is kind of fun. All right, I'm just setting these on. I suspect these will probably go up here a bit higher. I'm just kind of playing around. There's one of our bits. Okay, so the rest should hopefully be easier, except for this last one might be a little difficult. Exactly, Randy. Happy accident. Makes the project uniquely yours. Oops, that's not a scissors. Like, why can't I open this? Okay. Little corner. There we go. What if I can just pull this whole thing out at once? No, I think I gotta get into these corners too. Yeah, I would love to get all of these kind of turned right side out and placed and pinned down today. That'd be a great place to be in for tomorrow. These are cute. Oh, these were numbered, weren't they? Do we think they're all the same size? Let's see. Oh, they're a bit different, aren't they? Oh, they are, aren't they? Okay, let's peek. Okay, so here's 4, 3. Trying to see if I can see a 2 in here. Alright, this looks like it's a 1. Alright, so we're going to just put them in order here, and then I'll work on like reversing it if we need to. It looks like I have that one done. Oh, this is the one that I was still working on. Just doing that final, kind of picking out the tip here. There we are. Okay. So again, really, mine should be pointing like this way if I did it opposite. Wait, no, it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be like an angle like this. Hold on, let's actually do this backwards. 3, 4, and then this guy down here somehow. Ah, it's cute. All right. Starting to look like something here. Okay, this is number 3. All these different like scissors looking tools makes me super happy. Although I don't need this guy anymore. He can live over here. Looks like we're doing surgery here. Noeline says, I got my coffee and I'm set now. Ugh. Coffee. So good. I think even if I had some decaf here, I think that would still keep me up. I should just have coffee candles everywhere and just... Ugh, I think that would make me sad, though. I want the actual coffee. Alright. This guy's looking pretty good. Let's just pick out the extra bit. So you can actually do this with a light interfacing too, or like a light tearaway interfacing, and you would just like tear down the middle and turn it right side out. Have the same sort of effect, but you can do it with just scrap fabric too, like what I'm doing here. There's so many ways to get that needle turn look. So this is another one. I think these just kind of get real close here. Yeah, the third one is almost parallel to the bottom. It's actually almost center too. So let's just eyeball this guy as just about center. This will stretch a little bit as I stitch them, I think. Ooh, I might have to take, like, if I stitch this edge down, I might have to take, like, this one away while I stitch it just so I have space for it. But I think at first we'll get them all together here. Okay, then this one comes down here quite a bit. It's going kind of straight up. I'm just eyeballing this. And if we're close to center, then we'll just leave it. And I'll just like scooch the whole thing here and there. I think we're looking pretty good so far. We're getting there. I'm excited. Oh, Evelyn says, I'm doing Turned Applique by Lori Holt, and those clamps would work great. Please tell me where to find it. So I am hoping to get some of these for the shop. So I'm actually testing out some samples from them. So I don't know where you find these next, or like right now. You could just like, I think there's some other craft people selling them. They're just hemostats, like for crafting. That's like the best I can do right now. But yeah, I am hoping to get a few of these in. So if there's like some handle colors that you guys would like for these, and I think I'm going to try and get some scissors like this too, and maybe some shorter ones. I don't know. We're going to get some samples, but I'm completely loving using this for, I mean, this is what the game is with, to use it for crafting wise, is to turn these buggers right side out. And I'm hoping it especially does well here. That's going to be the deal if it can do that well. Yeah, so if you just do a search for hemostats, like how Rebecca spelled it, and crafting, I'm sure there's you can probably find some out there, or you can probably even look on Amazon. Oh, this purple is pretty. Yeah, I kind of love this purple. It almost matches my fingernail polish, and I'm almost out. This might be the last week for this fingernail polish, you guys. I'm gradually going through all my old polishes, and I'm like, before I get new stuff, I gotta use all this stuff up. So I'm just going one by one until it's gone. I'm just sticking with that color until I run out of it, and I think it's just getting a bit thick and down to the bottom, and so I think this is the last week of this color forever and ever. Oh, dang, Barbara. If only. Barbara says, or if you have an operation, they may give you some hemostats for free. Yeah. They'll use them. Don't know if they'll give them to you, but wouldn't that be crazy? But yeah, these are just like the medical ones. I'm actually getting them off of a medical site. It comes in all different colors. I just love it. But I'm looking at, so let me know what you guys think about this. So that same medical place, I think it'd be kind of a cool tool. But it is like a hemostat, like this. But it is this big or even smaller. So it would be like maybe a hemostat, but maybe like this big or so, like maybe 3.5 inches. But the same sort of thing, and it's meant for pulling needles. So I thought that'd be cool, like if you're working on some, like a quilt or something, when you're just stitching a quilt or anything that you're like, dang it, I can't pull the needle all the way through, then it's meant to just help pull the needle through the thread, but it's about half this size, so it'd be only about this long. I think that would be so cool. So I don't know if I've seen anything like that for like in the crafting world. So I'm looking, I'm getting some samples of those as well. So they're just like baby hemostats, but they're called, like in the medical field, they're needle pullers or something. So if you're getting your stitches done, they might be using those. But I thought that was pretty interesting, so I'm hoping to get some samples of those as well, and then order a bunch. I think it's a fun idea. I have used pliers to pull a needle through a quilt before, and it ain't fun. So something more meant for it that's easier to grab and hold on to, I think would be kind of cool. But yeah, I do kind of like the look of these scissors. Like I like the shape of them and stuff. So we're gonna find those, and then we'll get some more of our little stork fellers as well, because I do still love our traditional stork embroidery scissors. All right, you guys, one more. It's looking freaking great. Exactly. Nolene says, if John ever needs stitches, I'll have all the equipment I need. I'll have like my surgical scissors and my hemostats. I'll be able to, I swear, I bet you anything, a crafter going into like a nursing or just like, I guess it'd be more like surgery, going into like the surgery field, I bet you they're freaking the best at stitches. Like, I bet you they just go bloop, bloop, and everyone's like, dang, how did you do that? I bet you they're amazing at all of that, like, very good, crafty surgery stitchery. All right, already I'm kind of having a little problem with this. I don't know how I'm going to separate the front from the back here. I don't want to cut a hole in the front, so I'm just sticking the needle in here, the pin, to try and separate the front and the back. So I'm hoping to cut a hole, like a slit down the middle here, without it affecting my stitches too much. Nolene's like, who will hold him down? Oh, Colleen says no, it's very different stitches. Still, I feel like a crafter would learn those puppies real quick versus someone who doesn't do much handwork stuff at all. Alright, I'm gonna get like a real sharp... Well, nah, we'll just use this. I'm gonna just snip right into here again. Eep, just a little baby stitch, or cut. Alright, we'll go a little that way and a little this way, and hopefully we don't have to do too much more. If these kind of splay out when we're done, that's going to be okay, because we are going to actually stitch the edges down, so it should work fine. Ugh, I freaking love scissors too, Noeline. I don't know what it is. Apparently I am a collector of scissors now. It's a little ridiculous. Well, every once in a while, I haven't done this in a while, but I have done it. I like going on eBay just to see what kind of vintage scissors are hanging out there. All right, I do not know if this is going to even reach this whole way. I need one of those super duper long hemostats. They do actually make those as well. We're going to only make it this far. Let's see if I can pull all of this through. Okay, I think I'm grabbing something there. This might just be too dang skinny. But the nice thing about the hemostats is I can clamp them without holding them together. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Noeline says, I met a doctor. She did embroidery and hand sewing to perfect her stitching. I'm telling you, it's gotta be a bonus. Ugh, okay, yeah, this is just a lot to stick through here. Let's see. How else can we do this? This is so skinny. Oh, Marcy says, I use my hemostats all the time. They're a great quilting tool. well, what I could do is actually cut this even more down the middle. Like I said, we're still going to get that needle turn effect. And this is going to, you know, we could actually just flip it right side out like this, which would do it. It would just be a lot more pinning. It is kind of, that's what I did for the label on my first Splendid Sampler quilt. Ugh, this is still going to be just tough to pull through. Ugh, I think we're going to have to just cut a slit all the way down. Boo! Well, that's what I did for my first Splendid Sampler quilt. Is just kind of cut a slit all the way down and then turned it right side out. It's just a bigger pain than just being able to turn the thing. So we'll have to really pin this down. Yep, that's awfully skinny. I think we're just going to clamp it on the end and shove it on. Yeah, I just don't think I can even get in here. Like, I'm going to have to do it from the inside. Maybe I can at least get the end. Yank it through there. Ugh, I just don't want to hurt the fabric either. Come on, guy. Yeah. Boo! I just don't think I am doing that very well at all. Let's just snip up to the end. This we'll have to just really pin down. Get out. Ugh. This is a pick out with a pin. It looks like I might have just damaged the fabric a little bit from pulling on it too much. Alright, well, this little bitty end I got pulled out there, so that'll give us some shape at least. I gotta do the other side yet, but, you know, we're gonna have to, like, get this in place and then full on. This is gonna be actual needle turn, because I'm gonna have to, like, use my needle to tilt all these underneath, but we're gonna have, like, the littlest little strip here, and it's gonna actually kind of be cute, I think. The problem isn't, I don't think, the pulling through. Oh, this is not. Oh, yeah, that is what I wanted. The problem isn't the pulling through. It's that there's just so much bulk in such a small place that I can't even get it to start to turn through. Try a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch dowel. See, that's even, this is gonna, the diameter of this is less than a 1/4 inch. An 8 inch dowel might work. But still, I think it's just too much to stuff. Too much outside. So, boo! Let's see if I can even get this little bit through. Yeah, that would be an idea. Maru is saying use a bias tape maker. I could have done this with bias tape. That would have been a good idea. But I thought, maybe we can get it turned right side out. Ugh, now I need a... Come on. There we go. Alright. So if only we could have gone that for the whole entire thing. But we got this end looking like how it should, but just like an inch worth. The rest we're going to have to do needle turn it, but this will help us place it at least, I think. That was a struggle. It's so little. Okay. Let's see how this is looking now. I kind of want to just get it pinned down. So, well, anyway, the ends are fine, so we'll just dig into that. Let's just start by, are we centered? This is actually going to be quite big. I'm going to spread these apart. So it looks like, I'm going to just completely eyeball this, you guys, I think. So I'm going to go up a little bit higher. And remember, this is a 13-inch square, so if we are within a ½ inch off, we can just trim, like, you know, I can trim off a full inch on one side if, you know, if I need to. So hopefully that helps us centering it a little bit more. I suppose we can measure too. It's going to move around as we stitch, so I'm not going to get too comfortable where it is, but let's just try and do the best we can here. And we'll have to think about what order to stitch it in, because I think we are going to have to move things to stitch other things. But we can get it as lined up as we can right now. Yeah, I think they're going to be a bit more spread apart like that. I think I'm going to work on the center pieces out, and we'll see how that goes. But I'll pin everything, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to move pieces as we go. I think that's it, though. I think we got it right here. There, this kind of lines up. Yeah, so I think if we start like this, we will just gradually stitch each on and adjust as needed, but I think this is looking pretty good. So, all right, I am going to, just to keep this general idea, I am going to roughly pin this down. But what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start with this piece here. Actually, maybe let's just start with the outside piece, and then we can kind of adjust this so it lines up after. Gosh, or I wonder if we should do this arc first, because that might be like weird and difficult, and then we can it'll be easier to place everything else. I think that might be what we should do. All right, I think yeah, we're gonna start with the most difficult thing first, but let's pin all this down for now. So these are my little applique pins. Robin says, I think do the peel first too. I think that's going to be the biggest determinant of where everything is going to sort of lie. So yeah, we'll do that first, see how wonky that gets, and then these will be easier to move around and still look decent, I think. I think maybe we do the outside too, and then we'll do the inside too when we get that far. All right, let's start by let's just flatten it out a bit and get those top, or these little bits kind of placed as well as we can. Actually, it probably doesn't matter, right? Wherever this goes is how it's going to be. So let's just stick a pin in there. We'll be moving these pins as we go. Let's just go down the middle here. all of this edge is going to be tucked underneath it, which will be awesome. It will poof it out like needle turn does. So it'll look more like these when we're done. Did we try needle turn on this fabric? I can't remember. So we are using a unusual to me fabric for the back. It's not really a quilting weight fabric. It's kind of a little bit, it's not stretchy, but it is a bit more flowy. So I don't know if it's going to work quite as well. But that's what we're going to try. The last little bit up here. Okay, yeah. So I think, just to stay away from all this, I think I'm going to start on the outer edge. And then we'll just keep flipping all these edges around. I think that'll work. The other option is to do the inner edge first. Let me see what kind of feels more comfortable. You know, I think I'm going to do the inner edge. All right, so let's grab a needle. I think we can actually get a little bit started tonight, which will be fun. Get going here. All right, I'm going to get Zeb out here again. So I'm going to use my straw needle again. So it's bent from doing English paper piecing, but it is that longer and thin needle with that small eye. I think it works well for this needle turn applique. Let's grab some, here's some gray. I think we should probably use closer to the front color. Why don't we use this? This is one of my new colors, new Aurifil colors from July, but I think it probably works pretty well with this. So let's use this. So all right, I'm gonna just get 24 inches or so. I think you want not too long with your needle turn, but let's get our thread conditioner out. I bet you that's going to help us a bunch with this. I don't want to press it first, Charla, I don't think, because, well, I could have pressed like each individual piece maybe, but I'm not sure that's going to help us all that much. I think just because we're going to be doing that needle turn bit now, so we're going to want to control it a little bit more, and if it's pressed really flat, I think we'll lose some of our ability to control it a little bit. I don't know. All right, so I'm just gonna do a knot here. All right, I think I'm gonna come up on the in the middle of this. So I'm gonna get down here for you guys. All right, so all right, I think like right here, I'm just gonna go from the back around the front, and I'm just gonna go around that place again. So this is just like how we've been stitching before. We're just making that little stitch there, and actually I might need a little help pulling these ends out a little bit, probably with a little bit stiffer pin or needle. There, that's looking pretty good. Let's hold that there. And I'm going to go in the back only and then come up a stitch length away. I am going to try and go just in the front fabric because I want that front fabric to be pulled over to the back. There we go. Oh yeah, these stitches are going to be totally invisible with this color. This is a good color for it. So we're making like little baby stitches. I mean, these are maybe just a hair over a 1/16 of an inch. Oh my gosh, I know I'm going to love it already. It's just like This is this is the needle turn applique part that I love, where it just gets attached and it's this slow stitching and it just becomes like flush with the fabric a little bit. Ooh, it's gonna be cute. All right, I am gonna, like I said, try and tuck under the background fabric, because remember, in real needle turn we wouldn't have had that background fabric. I'm gonna go around just the point again here, just to kind of define that. But yeah, I just want to grab from that top fabric and pull that down. All right, so now I'm turning and we are starting on this edge, and I'm going to flip this fabric under as I go. I'm going to just trust my pins right now that I've got everything in place. Ugh, I love doing this. I could just do this all evening now. Grabbing just that top fabric. Yeah, so we'll do this for a few more minutes here and see how it goes. But yeah, this is fun. I do like doing this. You can kind of take your needle and swoop your next section under. Luckily with these, it's just kind of long straightaways. You know, it is curving, but it's not like super tight curves or anything, so I can actually probably make my stitches a little bit bigger, and it's going to be less fussy. Oh, it's looking so good. This tiny little 1 centimeter corner is looking so good. Yep, this is going to take a while. All right, I'm swooping all that under. All that bulk. So my needle, or this applique pin might be a little bit in the way for this, but I'm just going to try and stuff it under so I can keep that pin there for now. Pretty excited about this. This is going to take a while, but it's only Tuesday. We got the rest of the week here. And we're doing the hardest part first. All right, I'm going to remove that pin because now we are being held down by our stitches. It'll be interesting going the other direction. Hopefully this stays in this, like, hopefully this looks good. And I suppose we should back up and look at the arc of this every once in a while, but I'm not that far yet. We got to get some more stitches down. So this is like more like real needle turn applique where I have to tuck the edge under. I just happen to be tucking more layers under because this is actually that back fabric. You know, it's not just our normal seam allowance from this fabric. This feels good though. This is fun. Oh, well, Carol said I fell asleep sometime before you decided not to turn this one like the others. I did not decide to turn this one like the others. I just couldn't get it to turn like the others. It was just, I think in the end it was too skinny. I was able to grab the end and like pull on it, but I was never able to get it to be like skinny enough to actually fit in there. So I ended up just kind of cutting a slit up the whole thing, and I was able to get the end, like turn the ends right side out, but barely, and not more than an inch. All right, let's just kind of lay it out and see what it's looking like. Okay, we're still right. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like twisting it or something. But yeah, so we have this part and this little bit here stitched down. But I think it's working, and I think we have enough pins, and I think that's gonna be just fine. You can even use your fingers to flip this under too. That you can always pick it out a little bit if you flipped it too much. Okay, this is definitely relaxing though. I love it. Robin says, I love applique. Yeah, for me too. Like this is just I know this takes forever and it can get grueling like how forever it takes, but I just kind of like it more than the uh, fusible. And sometimes you just get a bug of wanting to do this hand stitching. So, that's where we're at now, I suppose. I think this color thread is perfect for this. Just kind of getting a little flatter here to make sure my shape is looking good still, because I removed that pin. All right, I think that's our next section kind of laid out. Oh no, Robin said I was supposed to be teaching applique, but COVID ruined it. Yeah, it's been hard on the quilting community because there's, well, just like the craft community in general, because there's a lot of teachers that travel and all that. Um, and that's been, you know, difficult. A difficult change. Ugh, you can see where I was trying to grab and pull in the different spots. Hopefully, after going through the wash, that'll probably get a little bit better. All right, I maybe kind of flattened out a bit there. I'm trying to, still preserve this inside curve, so I gotta kind of pay attention while I stitch, so I'm not pulling it way too far away. I think I kind of flattened it out a little bit here. Oop. That's the other problem with having other things here. My thread gets stuck on them. Yeah, that's a big change to do it all online, Robin, I'm sure. That's, yeah, just a lot. And then, like, just hard to interact with people, which is the whole point of a class. I think I got a little kind of bloop here going, but that's okay. I think it's kind of fun. All right, I'm going to take this next applique pin out, but now this is like that bottom curve. I'm going to try and hold it there really well so I can keep that curve. Use my needle to turn under the edge, hence needle turn applique. Alright, I'm going to try and hold this section down. I guess it's a little over the time. I got sucked into this a little bit. I think I'm going to go for a little bit longer. Kind of on a roll a little bit. Yeah, so we'll get this whole rind on, and then quickly we'll be able to place all these other things, I think. It's looking good though, this inside curve. Alright, I'm going to take this next one out already too. It's maybe jumping the gun a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe it's good doing this first. We'll get the little difficult one out of the way. So I wouldn't have been able to turn any of this under like I just did without cutting those slits in still. So those are still serving us, even though we had to cut down the center of this. These look like chips on here. Some tortilla chips. Kind of want to just go here till my thread's done, or until this bottom shape is done. It's looking good. I like how it's coming together. Little more difficult than just stitching it with all the edges perfectly turned already, but I get that sensation that I'm doing real needle turn applique here. Okay, I think I gotta redo this a little bit. Get all those tucked again. The nice thing about this background fabric is it's going to be pretty forgiving. Like, first of all, it's pretty busy, so if things get crinkled a little bit here, I don't think you'll be able to tell. If I'm pulling on the fabric a little much or not enough in some areas and I get some weird stuff going on, I don't think you're going to even notice. So that's a bonus. And it's been really easy to stitch through right now. Oops, I keep grabbing the little loop though. Ooh, I love this color of thread though. I've never used this color. It's so pretty. It's still a neutral, but it's got like some of that orange in that I love. All right, this pin's going. Okay. And I still think everything is laying flat enough that, it's not going to shift quite a bit when we're done. I think we're going to be fine still. Still making sure everything's flat as best I can. Yeah, finally to the fun part of this. I mean, it's fun making all the shapes and stuff, but this is the part that I like, is the stitching it on. I think I might have just enough thread to get to the other side, which would be cool. Ooh, this is looking good though. It's kind of hard to tell because I have all this stuff going on this side, but this is going to be like a skinny itty bitty little needle turn strip, which is just going to look so cool, I think. Okay, almost done with this thread. Still seems like it's laying flat. I'm glad we did this inside arch first though, because I think this is kind of the more defining arch. Like if we get this right, the rest will just kind of fall in place. I think it's looking pretty good. These are actually not as much in my way as I thought they'd be. So we'll just kind of leave. I mean, we'll move things around once we get this rind on, but just to, unless it looks good, but then I might just leave them on as I stitch, unless they really get in the way. But just like it folding over like this is kind of keeping them out of the way. Getting there, I'm almost done, you guys. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Alright. I'm like, this is turning out better than I thought it would to put this rind on, so I'm pleased with this. Except for that I am gonna run out of thread, I think just a hair too early. Oops, there, now it's in the way. I love these little stitches though. Such a nice vintage, like finished look, I think, the needle turn once it's all done. Alright, I think I'm to the part where it actually did turn right side out. So this should be the easy part, just kind of grabbing that front fabric still. And I think I might actually just end this a little bit before the edge, because then we can work on that corner tomorrow, but I am going to remove my last pin here, so we will not have any pins on this rind anymore. So that's cool. I'll show you guys up close this a little bit. I think right here I'm going to finish my thread. Then I have like a runway of a couple stitches tomorrow before the corner. So I'm just going to go around this spot one more time. And I think we're just going to go to the back to see if we can tie this into a knot on something. Oof, look at those little stitches. They're like invisible. I can actually tie it a little bit on the inside because that's going to be covered up with the applique piece. Can't hardly see this. It feels different than doing embroidery, this sort of little stitching, I think. And I think it's because there's less thinking. It's more just kind of chilling out. With embroidery, I feel like there's more to kind of consider while you're doing it. All right, that inside bit is down. So I'm going to just show you guys up close. So once this is out of the way here, we will have a very, very nice edge. But look at it, just looks so pretty. I just love that needle turn applique look. But yeah, getting them stitches down, looking good. Still looks messy because we can see that outside edge. But yeah, this is going to look really pretty. So how poofy all of these are now, they are going to have this effect of being just like really attached down. And it's going to just look slick, I think. And this didn't hardly move at all, so I'm happy about that. So I think our placement of these will probably be okay as well. I think we're a little further away than in the picture, though, so we might kind of adjust here and there. Kind of looks like we should almost start at the point on all of these just to get the point in the exact right spot, and then kind of work our way from that point. Anyway, I think it's looking pretty cool, you guys. All right. Okay, so thanks for sticking around with me more today. We got something that looks like the actual block at this point, so that's exciting. And based on how long that took just to do that little bit of stitching, I think we are going to get this done just on time. So I'm excited. It'll be fun to do this little like kind of fake needle turn applique and get that needle turn applique effect. The nice thing is we're actually almost making a padded needle turn applique because we do have that extra fabric on the back, so it's going to be extra poofed up, which is going to be great. I'm excited. So awesome. Thank you guys for joining me again for this. Remember, it is getting to be the last little bit of the month here, so our embroidery of the month, the pumpkin and the bat, will only be around for like a week or so. Crazy. So thanks again for ordering those. We've been getting them out right as you order them, so they should, pending the mail is working. We'll get to you soon. So all right, thanks again, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night.